Single back is Gibbs. Goff turn. Gives it to Jameer. To the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit Lions. That's the way you make a statement on the road on Monday night to start a football game. Straight down the field to the end zone. It is 2nd and goal from the 1. Goff out of the gun. Hands it to Montgomery. Tries the left side. Did not get in. It's good.
Adam Schefter at ESPN says there's 275,000 people.
Well, that was some party in downtown Detroit. 775,000 people, shattering the NFL draft attendance record.
This is the future.
All grit.
Evolution. This is the future.
All grit.
Evolution.
All grit.
Single back is Gibbs. Goff turn. Gives it to Jameer. To the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit Lions. That's the way you make a statement on the road on Monday night to start a football game. Straight down the field to the end zone. It is 2nd and goal from the 1. Goff.
All right, 1 second.
Hands it to Montgomery. Tries the left side. Did not get in. It's going to be 3rd and goal from inside the 1. They say he did get in. Late call. There it is. Touchdown, Detroit Lions. Better late than never. Out of the gun. Jackson's got it. Running to his right. Wants to throw. Now being pressured. Ball's loose on the ground. It is recovered by Jackson, but it does not matter. That's Lions.
All right, what's happening, everybody? I have no clue. No clue what is going on with one of the main intros that used to be there. I guess it's no longer there. Gotta love it, man. What an exhausting Sunday having to wait for a Sunday night football game. But I'll tell you what, I'm ready. I'm ready to watch these Lions go into Arrowhead and do what we do. I know that we're missing a lot of DBs. I know we have a lot of holes on this team. But the standard is the standard. It's what Dan Campbell expects. It doesn't stop. It doesn't change. Someone's going to have to pick up the slack. And I think we have the right guys to do it. This is not going to be, I don't think this is going to be an easy game by any means. And I think it's going to be a boat race, honestly. I think there could be a lot of points scored in this game. All things are shaping up to be that way. At least by the way I'm looking at it. Let me just double check my audio before we get rolling too deep here. All right, I think we're good. I'm just not good in my ears, man. I'm having ear trouble again. I don't know what it is. Just doing too much of this, most likely. But anyway, let's go through some keys of the game. I'm also going to bring in some of the keys that I put together. I got it out finally today. Given that we had a late game, I decided to drop it a little bit late. But man, I was having difficulty figuring out what to do, what to say, how to say it, because there's just so many different things that can go wrong in this game. And you really have no idea, right? How are Dan and how are Brad, how are Dan and Calvin Shepard going to be able to, put together a defense that can have that same identity of being a man-first defense and still take care of the things that they have to take care of, knowing that this is an aerial attack that they're going up against, and you don't have the man defenders on the outside. I think Amit can, right? I'm just not sure about Mollett or Flowers or, any of the other guys that we brought in. I'm not real sure how they're going to fit. I'm not real sure what they're going to be able to do. So or Rock Yassin even. Now, he has a lot of man experience, but has he been put into a situation like this, going up against the Kansas City Chiefs that, they've got some weapons on the outside. Hollywood Brown, Xavier Worthy. They've got some speedsters. They've got some absolute weapons. Isaiah Pacheco can be lethal out of the backfield. He just hasn't done a ton yet this year. So they have a very fast-paced offense when they want to have it. And then you've got Mahomes that you have to worry about. And that's the biggest thing. Like going up against the Ravens, we had everybody. Everybody was healthy. Everybody looked good. They called the perfect defense, and it worked. And I would say that would have been the exact same defense that you're going to want to call against the Kansas City Chiefs tonight. Except we're down Terry and Arnold, and we're down DJ Reed. Even though Avonte Maddox doesn't really play much but special teams, he's down. He would have been a critical piece tonight in a backup role. So and then you got Taylor Decker out, right? And Taylor Decker's out. Manu's down with the knee. So we've got some big holes, some really big holes. It's not as bad as last year. We were still able to rip off some wins, in the last half of the season. We were down plenty of guys. But I went through the IR report the other day, and I just shook my head. I just shook my head when I was looking at it, because it's crazy where the Lions are right now. If you were to guess, where would you think the Lions are right now as far as injuries? Like, how many guys have we put to IR already? Just take a wild guess. Since training camp. Actually, no, let's not go since training camp. Let's go, oh, shoot. They kind of got this a little screwed up in this one. Either way, when I counted it the other day, there was 19 guys that have already been sent down to IR. I don't know why these say February 9 in here. Like, this doesn't make any sense. It shouldn't say February 9 for guys like Colby Sorsdahl or like Malcolm. Oh, these are return dates. That's a return date. It doesn't tell me the date that they were injured. Here we go. All right, so going back to August 5th, you've got Kai Robichaud, Ennis Rakestraw, Kenny Yeboah, Justin Herron, Kobe Sorsdahl. That's 5. Malcolm Rodriguez still coming back. Josh Pascal still coming back. Ezekiel Turner. So that's 8. Miles Frazier, that's 9. Jamarco Jones is 10. Shane Zielstra is 11. Marcus Davenport, 12. Daniel Thomas, DJ Reed, that's 13. Khalil Dorsey, that's 14. Giovanni Manu, that's 15. So that's 15 guys that are on IR right now or NFI, right? Or guys that have not made it back yet. And then you have Terrion Arnold, who's out for several weeks. We don't know the full answer. So it wasn't 19, it was 15. That's a ton. That is a ton. And we're one of the teams that, you know, we can typically get through a lot of this because we have such a deep team. And I just think it's hilarious when people complain about Brad Holmes building the depth. Without Brad Holmes building the depth, man, we don't have the squad that we have tonight to be able to go in and take down the Chiefs. And I still think that that's possible. I still think that's possible. So let me bring a couple of things in I wanted to chat about. Waiting for these inactives to pop up. Should be up any second. Here it is. All right, inactives. We knew Terrion Arnold was going to be out. Zach Cunningham still out. We knew Taylor Decker was going to be out. Navonte Maddox added to the list tonight was just Lawrence Strickland. So Sione Vaki, we knew more than likely wasn't going to play. I think he was put out the other day anyway. And then Mekhi Wingo. Not sure what's going on with Mekhi Wingo. Dan Campbell said the other day that, you know, they got him in, they got him some reps, and then they thought it would be beneficial to put him back down for a few weeks to kind of get him back in shape. Not sure what that means. Was he not game ready? Was he not game shape? Or was he just not mentally there? So really it's just Lawrence Strickland, which I'm surprised. I am surprised that Lawrence Strickland is not up for this game, but that means obviously Brian Branch, Kirby Joseph should be in. They're not listed, so that's good news, which means we have strength now in the back end of this defense. If it were me, even though I don't know jack squat compared to Calvin Shepard, I kind of like the idea of splitting Kirby and Brian Branch up in this game. I'd much rather see Brian come down and play the nickel. I think that gives us a strength in the run game. It gives us a strength in the slot and in the nickel. And then that leaves, you know, one guy, Kirby, who can play with just about anybody back there. I think that our safeties would be just fine with Kirby back there and one other guy, especially if we go to single high, which I can't imagine that we're going to do a ton of single high tonight. But I would much rather see him split up and rolling them. I see a little bit more of a light box tonight, which means they're not going to slam, they're not going to slam a guys up towards the line of scrimmage. So it makes even more sense to me to kind of split those guys up a little bit. And there's no reason to have both of them back there unless they're going to play in a shallow shell. I have a feeling they're going to play more of a too high safety shell, which is they're going to be pretty deep, and try to limit the explosives. I get that too. So I still would rather see them split up. That way you got a strength up towards the front and you got a strength in the back, right? And then you can kind of split it up. Amik is a strength on the one side. Not so sure about Rock Ya-Sin or Mollett or Flowers on how they're really going to pan out today. We'll see. We'll see who's going to be on Xavier Worthy. I don't have Kansas City's yet. Well, got nothing on Kansas City. How come there's nothing on Kansas City? All right, let me take a look at this one here. Still nothing. Did you guys see it anywhere? Did you see the Kansas City inactives yet? Because I don't see it. I do not see it. Let me go to their website and see if they released anything. If I knew how to use that NFL media portal better, I'm sure it has it all in there. I just suck at using it. I really don't know how to use it that well. Oh well. I really don't care, honestly. It's not even about who's out for the Chiefs. It's about who's out for us. They were fully healthy. So whoever they have out is just a healthy scratch anyway, right? So, I mean, I guess it really doesn't matter. Let's talk about Jared Goff for just a moment here. So Jared Goff, we'll get into some insights of the game. Jared is the NFL's touchdown pass leader right now with 12. And obviously facing the Chiefs defense, under the lights tonight in Sunday Night Football, it's going to be a big test for him. This has been a pretty solid defense so far throughout this season. When I looked at how these teams match up, this is probably one of the most even matchups that I've seen all season for us so far. Quite honestly, it is a very even matchup. What we don't do well, though, they're kind of doing well, and well at. And what we're, come on, there we go. Try to bring this in. What they don't do well, we actually been doing pretty well at. So it's a trade-off, right? It's a trade-off that you like to have. Gives you a little bit more confidence that we can take care of business against the run game. The Lions have also been winning with 4 and 5-man rush more often than in seasons past. So the Lions defense been very effective at rushing 4 or 5 defenders, or 4 or fewer defenders, generating pressure at 38% rate, which is the 4th highest in the NFL. Who would have thunk? Right? Who would have thunk? So when Brad Holmes said, we're good, we're good. We got guys that can do it. And on third downs, the Lions have ramped up, the aggression with a 46.8% blitz rate, which is the 3rd highest in the league, which is also 15.9 percentage points higher than the early down blitz rate. So first and second down are, the blitz rate is around 30.9%. That is the 4th largest differential in the league. And when sending extra rushers, obviously the Lions have generated pressure at a high rate, 48.4% this season, which is the 9th highest rate in the NFL. It's crazy to think that there's teams that are out there doing it more, but there are. I've got this slideshow. Let me pause that. Okay, so what can't happen tonight? Here's what can't happen tonight. What can't happen tonight is the blitz, right? You can't blitz Mahomes. You just can't. If and when you do, he's just going to get the ball out. And so even though we run pretty aggressively on defense, I think that you can do that when you have some studs on the outside that can play man. If you don't have guys that can stay sticky, it's pretty tough to blitz and then not get gashed downfield, right? Our guys tonight, we're going to see how sticky they can stay, and that'll probably dictate a lot of what the defense does. I just don't see it working out to our benefit tonight. And quite honestly, the biggest question I have for I got to get my article open because that's where I put all my notes. The biggest question I have for Calvin Johnson is quite honestly this simple. What is more important tonight? Right? What's more important to you tonight? Is it winning the game? Obviously. Okay, but is it winning the game and showing that you have a very strong defense and that you can control games with the defense and you can be risky and you can win with aggression? Is that important? Probably not. Not for me. What's more important to me is you get the W. And if you risk it for the biscuit, you're gonna get eaten alive. And so if Calvin Shepard decides to get too aggressive tonight and put our outside corners in a bad position, it's not going to work out well. I promise you it won't. And that's where you're going to see the ball downfield quite quickly. And I'd rather see these guys just keep it in front of them, play in a shallow zone, keep everything in front of you, and don't make the mistake of turning your back on Patrick Mahomes. The minute you turn your back on Patrick Mahomes, he's either going to escape, he's going to stretch the field and extend the play, and then he's going to throw it downfield, and your back's turning. There's nothing you're going to be able to do about it. So keep it forward. Keep the guys in front of you. I mean, you can call it a spy if you want to. Honestly, everyone needs to have their chest forward tonight as much as possible. And that's because I'd rather bleed them out, right? And what I mean by that is make them get into these, 10-play drives. Don't let them get down the field in 5 drives and score. Make them take 10 plays. If you're giving up 6 or 7 yards, who cares? Especially against this team. Now, do I want us to come in and completely slam the door shut and stun them with this defense that we have? Absolutely, I would love it. I would absolutely love it. And I hope that we can get away with it. But if you can't, and you can't get away with it, then you just need to bleed them out a little bit. And the longer you keep that offense on the field, it can go both ways, right? Typically, you want the Chiefs offense off the field. Like, that is the best defense. Keep Mahomes on the bench. But if you can't stop them tonight, then it's keep them on the field as long as possible. Don't let these guys just score in a minute and a half. Make them take, 4, 5, 6, 7, even 8 minutes off the clock. Bleed out the clock a little bit. So what? It might lower the score. Big deal. But at least they're not just going down and scoring. And then what happens if you get on the field and you go 3 and out? Then they're back on the field and they're back down in the end zone again. Right? So if you can lengthen their drives and give them the chunk plays, give them the dink and the dunk stuff, that's fine. Because what's going to happen is their offensive line is going to get gassed way sooner than what we're going to get gassed at. So we have depth that we can rotate guys in on the defensive line. And you typically don't see that on an offensive line where they're, rotating guys in and out. That usually doesn't ever happen. But we can rotate our guys a little bit higher tonight, which I would think would be a priority. Don't make Hutch play 95+% of the snaps. Put him in at 90. I know that 5% doesn't seem like a lot, but even a couple of plays off could save his legs, till the fourth quarter. If you noticed in just about every game this year so far, and it's been mentioned by other people than just me, Aiden is getting gassed towards the end of the third quarter. He just doesn't have anything left in the tank. And if he doesn't have anything left in the tank and you need him to get after it in the fourth quarter, it's not going to happen. So save his legs. Save him till the fourth quarter. Mix it in. Bring some guys in, relieve him a little bit, and you can do that with a game plan that isn't overly aggressive. The more aggressive you are on defense, the quicker he's going to gas out. I know this is all just simple, basic football 101 stuff, but this is stuff that we didn't see with Aaron Glenn, right? Aaron Glenn would put the pedal to the metal, and he didn't care who was in, and he would get overly aggressive. The majority of the time, it did not work well. What saved us is our offense was able to put up 35-plus points a game. And that's what we're going to have to rely on again tonight. We're going to have to rely on guys like Alex Anzalone tonight, who has only allowed just 7 receptions for 30 yards across 17 targets in coverage this season. He's going to have to be one of the guys that steps up tonight in a big-time role. He's only allowing a 41.2% completion percentage this season, which is the lowest among all linebackers with at least 10 targets. 8.8 percentage points lower than the next closest player, which is Jahad Campbell, rookie. And he's at a 50% completion percentage right now. Anzalone's 1.8 yards per target would also be the fewest allowed by a linebacker since 2018. With a minimum of 10 snaps, 10 targets. My ears are a little bit low. So obviously Alex Anzalone's been playing pretty well, right? He's been playing pretty well. He needs to play his best game tonight because he's going to have a really tough assignment. Again, give you guys a quick reminder, the only inactives for tonight, in case you just popped in, the only new name to the inactive list is Lauren Strickland. So it's Mekhi Wingo, Sione Vaki, Avante Maddox, Taylor Decker, Zach Cunningham, Terrion Arnold, and then Lauren Strickland. All the other guys were expected to be out or were already ruled out prior to, or yesterday, really. How about Jack Campbell in tonight's defensive makeup? So Jack Campbell, or Jack, as I'm supposed to say, damn it, that's another 10 push-ups, has recorded 25 tackles on 98 run steps this season, 25.5% rate, the third highest run rate or run tackle rate among linebackers with at least 50 run snaps against. He also ranks 6th in run stop rate at 16.3%. His tackles are resulting in unsuccessful plays for the offense. Since entering the league in 2023, Jack leads all linebackers with a minimum of 500 run snaps, and he's generating a 16.1% run stop rate that also ranks 2nd in run tackle rate at 23.7%. I don't think I need to say it, but Jack is one of the best linebackers in the game right now, and he might end up being one of the top 10 best linebackers ever to play the game when he's done. That is the trajectory he is on currently. He is a rare and special athlete, and I can't give Brad Holmes enough credit for bringing in a guy like this. And I'm only saying this to say it, to make the comparison, but to have a guy like Jack who is playing at the level he's playing, there is no way for us to ever know if we would have got an edge instead, would that guy be playing at the rate that Alex or that Jack is right now. And you need a middle linebacker that can run the defense, right? You absolutely need it, and you need what he's able to do. Looks like Chiefs inactives were just updated. Running back Elijah Mitchell, tight end Jared Wiley, left tackle. Josh Simmons is out tonight. Edge Malik Herring, and cornerback Christian Fulton. So with Josh Simmons out tonight, that's interesting. I didn't see him on the injury report all week. So if Josh Simmons is not in, that's going to be Wanya Morris filling in. So look, Juwan Taylor's not having a great season, and with having the backup Wanya Morris most likely having to slide in tonight, that is a key for the Lions tonight to focus on, that when they do bring pressure, you need to run at Wanya Morris. I mean, I'm sure they'll take their shots at Taylor, but I would get Aiden Hutchinson lined up over Wanya Morris, and when you're going to bring pressure, that's when you bring it and who you bring it against. Back to Jack here. Thank you, Trace, for updating me. Back to Jack here. Look, he's far and away the best. I mean, one of the best in the league right now. Imagine if we would have taken an edge that year at that spot and it didn't work out, or he's not playing at a top 10 level right now. It would have been a waste, probably. Jack does way more for this team than having an edge rusher would ever be able to do. Because if you don't have a guy that you can trust to call the defense, and if you haven't listened to Shep lately, I mean, he's saying some things about Jack that are pretty incredible. I mean, a guy that is going up to Shep during practice or whatever, and he's saying, hey, what's the personnel? And then he'll say, all right, I got it. And he'll just leave Shep. All right, Shep, I got it. And doesn't even let Shep finishes his statements or anything. Now, Shep loves it. He loves that he does it, but he also had to tell him, a couple of times, hey, I love that you do that, but we still need to communicate. I still need to give you the direction. I'm glad that you got it, though. But it's just like Jared Goff, man. Both of these guys eventually are going to be able to call the defense and call the offense without any input from either coach. That is what Dan Campbell believes is going to happen with Jared Goff. And Shep, I assume, is probably trending towards that way with Jack, that at some point Jack is going to be able to do what he needs to do. When they've had miscommunication issues or no communication, when headsets have failed, Jack's gotten these guys in the right look and doing the right thing. So again, I can't say enough good things about Jack and how he is so important to this team. And had we made the wrong choice in that draft in 2023, we wouldn't be playing as well as we are right now. And we wouldn't have played as well as we did last year. So Jack is key tonight. The Lions defense has been very effective when rushing 4, like I said. There's a reason why. The reason why is because Jack is so good at covering the middle of that defense and sideline to sideline when he needs to. So having a guy like this in the middle of the field can settle down the defense and provide such a huge strength and such a wide swath right around you to give a ton of coverage and allow your front 4 to go do what they want to do naturally, which if you follow this channel long enough, you know that I've been waiting for this defense to be able to have a front 4. And I think that Brad's been building it from the very beginning, but to have a front 4 that can win naturally. They just got sidelined a little bit with some injuries with Levi and Pascal and others. But this is where this defense was always trending to. Now let's talk about Tyleik Williams for just a moment. Tyleik is one of the best defensive tackle pass rushers already early in his career as a rookie. He is putting up, some phenomenal numbers already. I know he's not filling up the stat sheet, but when you look at what he's doing with batted passes and how quickly he's able to get into the backfield and causing havoc, for the opposing team, Tyleik has been already touted as one of the best in the game already. Imagine where he's going to be in a couple more seasons. Let me pull that stat up real quick. They're talking about Tyleik being the next star in Detroit. And I'm all for it, man. I'm all for it. I loved watching this kid at the Combine and was my number 1 pick to the Detroit Lions in the first round. And so far, he's filling that bill, man. Tyleik Williams, here we go. It says best rookie pass rusher, Tyleik Williams for the Detroit Lions. Williams was part of a dominant pass rush that generated 28 pressures against the Bengals in Week 5. The 28th overall pick in this year's draft, ranked 2nd on the team behind Aiden Hutchinson in PFF pass rush grade 76.3 across 13 pass rush snaps. And he's just getting better and better and better. So the more that he gets some seasoning, the better he's going to be. This is going to be a big game for Tyleik Williams. Here's how I see it kind of going down. Offensively, obviously for the Kansas City Chiefs, they carry a ton of firepower. And on paper, they look far more balanced, but also vulnerable at certain areas than they do in past seasons. Offensively, the Chiefs rank 8th in total offense, averaging 361 yards per game. They sit 9th in the passing at 241 yards per game and 12th in rushing at 120 yards per game. They're producing only 25 points per game right now, which is about 10 points lower than the Lions. They're good for 12th in scoring. Patrick Mahomes has thrown for just under 1,300 yards this season with 8 touchdowns and only 2 interceptions. He's not making very many mistakes. His efficiency, though, has dipped. So right now he's only completing 63.4% of his passes and a 93.5 passer rating compared to his career average. That is a lot lower. Explosives are still there, though. He has 50 completions of 10-plus yards and 15 of 20-plus yards, but consistency has wavered a little bit. So this is where I was saying earlier, if we're not in a zone, we're in trouble because he's going to push the ball downfield, and he has the horses out on the outside and in the slot to be able to do it. So we have to be in a zone. It's imperative for the Lions to be able to do this tonight. I still see this being the Mahomes equals the Lamar concept. It's what I put in my article today. The Lions should be playing this one exactly like they did against the Ravens with a twist. The man defense will be limited tonight and used inside of the zone man concept. So When you can play a little bit of zone, you play a little bit of man inside zone. So maybe you have a Meek running man on man, against Worthy or Hollywood Brown or whomever, right? Maybe he has a man on man role or assignment tonight, and then you fit a little bit of zone over top of that. You bracket over top of it. You do something to make sure that you have coverage above these guys so that they don't get burned. But if they do, you have a safety right there to clean it up. So I could see a little bit of zone match quarters in tonight's game. Corners and safeties are going to pattern match these routes, allowing the defenders to keep the vision on the quarterback, which is the most important, and they'll still be able to play in some pretty tight coverage. They need to disguise the rotations tonight, so the safety should be rotating very late in a cover 3 or even in a cover 6 look tonight, and it's designed to kind of bait that quarterback into mistakes. Look, we still have Kirby Joseph back there tonight. We still have Brian Branch back there, and even if they're 80%, look, I'm not excited about that if they're about 80%, but I still like them back there than not back there. So expect Kirby to try to get his hands on a football. Expect Brian Branch to try to get his hands on a football. But if I'm Calvin Shepard tonight, I'm telling these guys, don't sell out for the turnover. If you 100% can make the play, make the play. But if you think for even 1 second you're not going to be able to pull that ball down and you end up tipping it to somebody and they take it to the house, we got problems. So don't sell out for the turnover tonight. It has to be a gimme. Tonight is all about batting the ball down, playing good tight defense, getting those PBU numbers up tonight, as opposed to going after the interception. Do I want him to get an interception? Sure, of course I do. But I don't want it to turn into a disaster. When potentially they go up for a ball and then they come down injured or something. Blitz packages tonight. I think you need to design up some selective pressure. Oh, shoot. I just noticed I have a huge typo in here. Huge typo. Anyway, selective pressure, it should say, from Jack Campbell and Alex Anzalone tonight, even Derek Barnes. I think that you can design a couple of blitzes around these guys and make it work. Okay, moving on. With the turnover emphasis, like I was saying, through 5 weeks, the Lions defense has improved at creating takeaways with disguised coverages and opportunistic play. They are really playing from a position of, like I said, being disguised, but they're taking those opportunities when they present themselves. Far and few between do they let an opportunity go without at least taking a swing at it. Tonight could be a little bit different. Obviously, with multiple starters in the secondary out, I think that those chances might shrink a little bit tonight against Patrick Mahomes, despite the uneven start or an uneven start for Patrick Mahomes. But Kansas City still protects the football. It's a key for Mahomes not to turn this ball over. He doesn't take a lot of risk. He only has 2 interceptions on the season, and he will punish over aggressiveness by Calvin Shepard. He's been doing it all year, and he does it with explosives. So for Calvin Shepard, my biggest thing for him tonight would be to have a successful game plan. You need to ensure the guys tonight understand the risk reward in chasing turnovers could just as easily give up a 40-yard strike. And against this Kansas City offense, discipline and tackling may matter more than the big splash play. Okay. One sec. Okay. Let's go through the slideshow real quick. All right, here's the Detroit Lions and Kansas City matchup by the numbers. Let me get to slide 1 real quick. That would probably help. All right, so Lions overall league ranking is 5th. Overall NFC ranking is 3rd. Overall win-loss record, we are 4-1. In division ranking, we are 1st. NFC North record 1-1. The Chiefs league ranking is 22nd. Overall AFC ranking is 10th. Overall win-loss record 2-3. And division ranking 3rd with an 0-1 record in the AFC West. The total offense versus offense team-by-team breakdown here is Lions are 6th. They are 8th. Passing offense, we are 12th. They are 9th. Rushing offense, we are the 7th best. They are the 12th. Scoring offense, Lions are number 1, and the Chiefs are number 12. Points per game, Lions putting up 35. Chiefs putting up 25. Your total defense by defense breakdown here. The Lions total defense, man, we are cruising this year. 8th. Total defense for the Chiefs, 13th. Passing defense, 12th for the Lions, and 7th for the Chiefs. Rushing defense, 7th. Chiefs putting it up at 21st, and this is where we need to take advantage of them tonight, is against the run. I would expect that old Sonic and Knuckles tonight are going to have a pretty good game plan. I just hope that they can execute it at a high level and get into that play action. Scoring defense, Detroit Lions are 16th, and the Chiefs are 13th. And points allowed, 22.4 for the Lions, 21.4 for the Chiefs. Chiefs have a really good defense. Numbers, I mean, being in the top 13 and rushing defense is the only part of their game that really hurts. But overall, man, how excited are you for the Detroit Lions this year? This is a huge improvement. Going from a passing defense that was ranked in the bottom of the league around 30th to now we are up in the top 3rd of the NFL. And if you could wipe away that first week against the Packers, the Lions have a top 10 defense right now. Defense week by week. So last week, the Lions in week 5 were ranked 12th. This week, we are ranked 8th in total defense. Passing 13th to 12th. We moved up 1 spot. Rushing defense stayed the same. Scoring defense, we dropped 1. We went from 15 to 16. Last week, we were 22 points per game, and this week, 22.4. So defense about even. No huge fall off there. Total offense versus defense. Your Detroit Lions offense is ranked 6th overall right now in the NFL, going up against the 13th ranked Chiefs defense. Our passing is 12th, going up against their 7th ranked passing defense. It's a pretty even matchup on paper, right? On paper, it's even. That is not even to me. The Chiefs are not better than what the Detroit Lions are on offense. The Lions should be able to put up points tonight. As long as Jared Goff can stay clean and we give him a little bit of time, he'll be fine. And when I say time, Jared just needs about 2.6 seconds, and he'll be able to get that ball out about 8 to 10 yards downfield. And that's really all we need to do tonight. So the same thing I said, with Kansas City, the little dink and dunk. Well, we need to do a little bit better than dink and dunk tonight. The occasional, big-time explosive. Maybe we see J-Mo get one, downfield tonight. They really do a good job at limiting the big explosive passes. But I have confidence that J-Mo and Goff have something cooked up tonight. Scoring offense, your Lions are number 1 in the league going up against the 13th ranked defense. This is why I'm not concerned. The Lions have been putting up on average 14 more points than what the Chiefs defense have been allowing. So I think that we're going to be okay. Lions defense against their offense. Well, this is about as even as it gets. Total defense 8th, offense ranking 8th. Passing defense is 12th for the Lions. Their passing offense is 9th. Our rush defense is 7th. Their rushing offense is 12th. And our scoring defense is 16th to their scoring offense is 12th. This is a really even matchup, ladies and gentlemen. Like this is going to be a really good game. I think it's going to go 2 ways. I think you've got a boat race tonight and a lot of points, or it could be really tight and won't be a lot of points scored at all. We'll see. Lions offense right now, 365 yards per game. Chiefs, 361. Passing yards per game, Lions, 230. Chiefs, 241. The biggest difference for me right now is looking at Jared Goff putting it up 8.2 yards per attempt. And Mahomes, only 6.9. Lions 135 rush yards per game and 120 for the Chiefs, which a primary number inside that 120 goes to Mahomes. So if we eliminate Mahomes, we eliminate a lot of their ground game. Rush yards per carry, 4.4. Chiefs, 4.8. Lions offense, critical offense versus the Chiefs' critical defense. Inside the red zone offensive rank, the Lions are third right now going up against the 16th ranked defense inside the zone. And the red zone TD scoring rate, the Lions are scoring at a crazy rate, 76%, which means 3 out of 4 times that we enter the red zone, we're putting up a TD. And the Chiefs defense is allowing 63% red zone TDs per game. Lions nearly 4 TDs per game scored in the red zone, and the Chiefs allowing 2.4. Third down conversion rank, Lions are 20th in the league right now, and the Chiefs are 11th. They're really strong on third down. This is going to be a 4-down night type of night for Dan Campbell. Third down conversion rate, Lions are converting about 1 out of 3. And the third down conversion rate for the Chiefs is 42%. Fourth down conversion rate, Lions, again, tearing it up, 78% right now. And their defense is allowing a 90% conversion rate on fourth down. I do want to mention this about third down. When you look at our third down conversion rate, it looks a little bit lower than what some of the other teams are doing right now. There's a reason for that. When you're going for it on fourth down, you're kind of looking at third down is another second down. If I'm making sense, I hope this is making sense, that when you look at third down as a second down, that means you're looking at your fourth down kind of as your third down, if you know what I'm saying. So we might, it might be, third and, let's say 4, third and 5. Well, we might say, okay, let's just get 3 or 4 out of this, and let's get to a 4 and 1, and then we're going to go for it again. So they might not be trying to get it all, right? And that's why our third down conversion rate is a little bit lower. All right, next up, we're going to be a big shout out to you, Brian Brady. Critical defense versus offense. The Lions on the other side. Lions defense, 25th, going up against the Chiefs' 16th ranked offense. Flip it the other way. The Lions are giving up 67% red zone TD rate, and the Chiefs are putting it in 60% of the time. Red zone TDs allowed by the Lions, 2. That's pretty good. And when you look at the Chiefs on the other side, they're only getting 1.8 TDs per game inside the red zone. So that means one of two things if you're looking at it. They're just not scoring, or they're scoring from outside the red zone with explosive plays. Third down conversion rank, Lions are 19th to the Chiefs' 12th on offense, and the Chiefs are converting third downs at 38% and fourth downs at 37%. And the Lions are only allowing a 41% and 40% on third and fourth down. That is really good defense. Jared Goff versus Patrick Mahomes, the one that makes the most. The most to us, man. Like this is what we want to see. Fireworks. Jared Goff season passing yards, 1187. Patty Mahomes putting it up 1257. So he's got a little bit of a lead on Jared Goff right now, but keep in mind that we do have one of the number one rushing duos, or the number one rushing duo in the league, and one of the best ground games in the league. And so when we're putting it on the ground, it's taking the ball away from Jared Goff a little bit. Season completion percentage is not even close. Jared Goff is clowning this dude, 75.2% to 63.4%. Jared Goff has 4 drops on the season. Patty Mahomes has 8. Passing touchdowns, again, Jared's got him by 4, man, 12-8. Interceptions, these guys are knotted up at 2, but look at that passer rating. Jared Goff crushing them by almost 30 points, 120.7 to 93.5. But you know what they say? No one cares about the paper. We got to go put it on the field. Explosives. Now this is where the teams get dangerous. Jared Goff has 42 completions at 10 plus, 15 completions over 20, 6 over 30, 2 over 40, and 1 over 50. Patrick Mahomes has 50 over 10. He loves to pepper that 10-yard line, I'm telling you, or 10 yards beyond the LOS. 15 over 20, 8 over 30, 2 over 40, and 0 over 50. So they haven't pushed it way downfield just yet, but pretty close. These guys are pretty tight in their explosives. Jared Goff has 672 air yards so far this season. Patrick Mahomes, 731. And that is your overall records and rankings and team-by-team breakdown brought to you by Pro Sports Zone. All right, any final questions, statements, anything you guys want to get into? We got the game coming up, so we're going to have to roll over and get into the game stream here in a little bit. I'm so exhausted tonight. It's crazy. I don't even know if I'll be able to stay awake for this whole thing. It's been one of those days. Wasn't that a song by Aaliyah, Just One of Those Days? That's what it feels like, just one of those days. I'm going to get into the game stream probably right around 7:45-ish. Let me go in here and try to bookmark these so you guys can roll right in. Let's see here if I can make a change. Anyway, questions, statements, anything you guys want to put up for tonight? I'll put up or you shut up, right? What are the Lions going to do tonight? What's your score predictions? My score prediction was pretty simple. Lions win, right? Lions win. That's as simple as it gets. If you guys haven't, please do me a favor. Detroit Football Journal is free to subscribe, and it's finally working. So I got everything worked out. It just took me a minute, but here's the link, or it's I think I did it wrong. I did. Hold on. Anyway, if you want to see what I'm writing or things that I'm going to talk about, you'll catch it here throughout the week. There you go. There's the link. Let me pin it. DetroitFootballJournal.com. It is free. It is not fake. I know there's a lot of fake ones out there. This one is not one. You can subscribe. It is free. Like I said, you can be a donor if you'd like to. I'm not asking you to. That is totally up to you. Quite simply, here is my prediction for the night. Lions win 38-31. So when I was on the Chiefs podcast the other night, I said 40. Thought the Lions would put up 40. I'm a little concerned we probably won't even put up 38. If this is a boat race, I see these numbers working, right? If it's not a boat race and both of these defenses come to play, it could be a little bit tighter. Then you might see, more of a 24-21 type game, or, a 21-17 type game. I think that those are probably the two areas that I would be in. It's either going to be way over or way under what the over-under is right now, which I think is 51.5 points currently. Tonight, I have Jared Goff going 21. That should say 27. That's another typo. That's a second typo. See what happens when I try to work too quick? Let me fix that real quick. There we go. Anyway, 21-27 is my guess for the night for Jared Goff. If I could get it back open, that would help. There we go. 21-27, 230 yards, 3 TDs tonight. I think he's going to do a lot of work by air. Amon-Ra St. Brown, I think he's going to be Mr. Consistent, 6-70 tonight for a TD. Jamison Williams, I'm a little concerned about. The Chiefs have been doing pretty good downfield, eliminating a lot of the big-time explosives. I still have him catching 3 balls for 60 yards, but nothing in the end zone tonight. And I want to be wrong. I'm doing this for a reason. I want J-Mo to score. So I'm going to put no TD. I want him to get a TD. Sam Laporta, I think, is going to have a decent night tonight. It could go one of two ways: completely shut down, or he could be really explosive. I see a lot of work for J-Mo or for Sam Laporta tonight. I really do. I think he's going to find some seam routes. It could be more than the 44 for 45 that I see, but I definitely see him getting a TD. My unlikely tonight is Brock Wright. I think that Brock Wright is going to get another TD tonight, and it might only come on one catch for 10 yards. So Brock Wright, Sam Laporta, both tight ends, putting it in the end zone. David Montgomery, I have him going 10 of 65 tonight for a TD. And I have Jahmyr Gibbs going 6 of 60 tonight for a TD and 5 of 40 in the run game. So that's your Rocks Lock for the night. And 38-31 is my score. Let me finish rolling this over and or trying to. They changed everything. And when they changed everything, I'm like lost on the back end now. Totally lost. Here we go. Here's a redirect. Okay. The redirect is on, so you guys should be able to roll right over into the live stream. It should be open, and I'll get in there just as soon as I can, and we'll get rolling. All right? Let's go Lions, man. Go One Pride. Let's get this victory tonight. I'm going to go get my dog fed. I'm going to grab me something to drink, and then we're going to lock in here, and we're going to have some fun watching the game. We'll see you guys shortly. Take care. Go One Pride. Go Detroit Lions, man. Let's go get this dub.
Pressured by Hutchinson.